Hey guys, my name is LaShawn J, and I am back with another review. Today we will be reviewing Seeking Brother Husbands, Season 1, Episode 2, Three's a Crowd. So the first couple I want to talk about today is Ellis and Mike. So Ellis and Mike do not have a third partner in their relationship yet, but Ellis wants a third partner. So somehow, some way, she talked her husband Mike into having a third partner, and she posted up dating sites, and she finally got a response, and she's going on a date. So she's getting ready to go out on a date. Mike asked her about the guy she's going on a date with, and she says his name is Isaac, and he's a painter. So Mike is kind of jealous and feeling a little insecure, but he doesn't say anything. He just lets Ellis proceed to go on a date. He walks her to the door, gives her a kiss and everything. Then we see Ellis. She's on a date with Isaac. They went to a brewery, and they're drinking beer and having a conversation. And Isaac is mostly asking her about sex. And he's more interested in the sexual part of it because he knows she has a husband. So in his mind, he's thinking the only reason that somebody would want to step out the marriage is for some kind of sexual relationship. So Ellis basically didn't feel a connection with Isaac because he's more surface level. So she didn't really feel a connection with him. And she's basically was like, she talk to him, and she really have to dig deep to get, some kind of substance from the two of them. And she don't think they kind of mashed well. Um, Ellis gets home, and she's telling Mike about the date. And she's like, well, how was your day? What did you do while I was gone? And he was like, you know what? I didn't do anything. I worked out. He was reading a book, watched some TV, nothing much, just trying to get his mind off of his wife being on a date with somebody else. So she proceeds to tell her husband about the date. And she was just letting him know, you know what? It didn't go too good. I mean, Mike is happy. You could tell he's happy about that. Because every time I look at him, he doesn't look like somebody who wants to get into this polyamorous relationship. So she tells him it doesn't go good, but the guy, he seems like a nice guy, and it seems like he's more for some kind of, what you call it, not a relationship, but fling. And it would just be just a sex buddy type of thing. And she seemed like she was a little open to it. She said that could happen, but that's not what I'm looking for right now. And Mike gets upset because he's like, I don't think that could happen. We agreed on us having another person in the relationship. We never agreed on you having a sex buddy. So he gets pissed because even in the last episode, she asked him, hey, we have a second bedroom. Would it be okay if I bring my dates over to the second bedroom? And he was mad about that. And it seems like she really forced his hand doing this thing, introducing, bringing somebody else into their relationship, because he said she cheated on him. Last episode, he said she cheated on him, and then they agreed to do this just so that she won't cheat anymore. But he doesn't seem like he's too happy or very comfortable with what is going on, because when she talked about bringing her dates home, he was like, no, this is where I'm gonna have to draw the line. You cannot bring them home. And I feel like the more dates she goes on, and eventually when she finds somebody that she wants to bring into the relationship, it's going to be a problem with Mike, because he's not as lenient as he wants Ellis to think he is. He's more, yeah, I'm going to go along with this for a little while to see how far you're going to go, but it's going to be a lot of roadblocks, because he does not seem like he's too happy, and he's not as embracing as the other couples. So she don't cheat on him no more. This is why he agreed to it. But he doesn't really want this. I see it in his eyes every time. So the next couple I want to talk about is Kenya, Tiger, and Carl. So Kenya, Tiger, and Carl have a very unique relationship. Carl sleeps in his own room. Him and Tiger are really good friends. And Carl and Kenya has been together for years. I guess to me, what I'm seeing on the outside looking in, you can let me know if I'm wrong. It seems like Carl, he's in the marriage as far as like a companionship and somebody who's the mother of his kids, somebody who he spent his life with for a long time. He's just there for comfort. But Tiger is the one doing the more husband role. He's the one who's sleeping in the bed with Kenya. He's the one who's most intimate with her. They do a lot together. And Tiger and Kenya have been together for 10 years. And I think Carl and Kenya were together and married for years, 20 plus years. They have adult children and everything. So we see the three of them. They're going to see their realtor because they want a new house. Kenya feels like she wants her room back. She wants her space. And she doesn't want to sleep in the bed with Carl anymore. With Tiger anymore, sorry. And he's finding that really hard to adjust because he's so used to sleeping in the bed with her. He's so used to being her, the main husband. Now that she wants her own space because she wants to bring more people involved in this, which I don't understand why. I feel like she has the husband where she could talk to she's been together with for a long time, and they understand each other on a different level. And then she got her husband who she's intimate with and do different things with and have fun with. So she has it good. Why is she trying to disturb the feng shui? I have no understanding. So they go to see the realtor. Tiger's pissed because he's like, I don't want this. I really want to stay in the bedroom with her. I feel like she's moving too fast. She don't need another person. The two of us should be enough for her. And he's just not happy with that. He wants to get married to her. He wants to make a ceremony, even just a small wedding ceremony, because they've been together for a long time and he wants that kind of commitment from her. So they're at the realtor. She introduced both her husbands to the realtor, and the realtor was a little bit puzzled, but she's like, I'm gonna keep my thoughts to myself. So they go in the house and they see the house. They start looking. They like the kitchen. The kitchen is beautiful. They like the chandeliers and everything. And the realtor asks, well, if, y'all are all married and y'all in this together, why don't y'all just share a big master bedroom? And Kenya proceeds to explain, hey, and also Carl, that we are all together, but we have separate roles and we're not like together, like we all sleep in the bed type of together. We have separate rooms and we have separate roles, and that's just how it is. So they proceed to look through the house. The first bedroom, Carl said he would want that bedroom. He's like, okay, I like the size of this room. I like this room. So Tiger says, this is downstairs. The other rooms are upstairs. Would you be okay with us walking above you because you do complain about us making noises? And the realtor tells him, hey, the living room is in the middle and the other two bedrooms are upstairs, so you shouldn't hear anything. They go see the other room. It's big. It's a little bit bigger than Carl's room, but it's not that big. And Carl felt like Kenya would need a bigger room, something with a lot more space, and that room seems just a little bit too small. Then they go see the third bedroom, which was a child's bedroom and was supposed to be Tiger's bedroom, but it was extremely too small. And they decide they need to keep looking for a bigger place because the rooms in that house was too small. So they proceed downstairs and they're talking in front of the realtor, and she's like, hey, Kenya's telling the realtor, I need this to move quickly. I want to be moved within 3 months. And I'm hoping that's okay with you, Carl, and you, Tiger. And Carl was like, 3 months is fine. I'm okay with that. But Tiger's like, no, that is too fast. I feel like we should still be sharing a room. Why do you need somebody else in the bedroom? I'm here. I'm doing everything you asked me to do. Why? B, I'm planning us a wedding, and you know this. And us moving in 3 months plus a wedding, that's just going to be too much. So Kenya gets mad, and she's just like, look, I don't even understand why we're still talking about a wedding. Nobody's going to be at this wedding. Your mother doesn't support us. Carl, your family don't support us. Mines don't. Nobody is supporting this wedding. Why do you still keep pushing for a wedding? Like, I'm tired of hearing about a wedding. I don't want to do a wedding. I don't want a wedding. So Tiger's like, well, that's very inconsiderate because I've given you 10 years of my life. And not only have I given you 10 years of my life, I've shared you with your first husband because you could have left him and just being with me. So he was just letting her know that's very inconsiderate, that you're thinking about only yourself and who's going to be there. This is a wedding. It's just for us. It don't matter if it's just me, you, and the dog, okay, at this point, because that's what I want. And Kenya is just very like hard-headed and stubborn, and she seems like if things don't go her way, it ain't going no way. But to have two husbands, I just don't understand how she's so hard-headed and stubborn. You have to compromise in life. So she should be doing a lot of compromising, seeing that she has two people she have to compromise for. But it seems like she's somebody who's used to getting their way, so much so she don't know nothing about compromising for your partner. She's so used to getting her way. Her first husband, he wasn't cutting it. Oh, I want another one. And he was fine with that. He didn't put his foot down. So eventually, one of these husbands, or maybe the third one, maybe somebody gonna put her straight. Because clearly she's too used to getting what she wants. And that's just not realistic. So Carl and Tiger go play golf because Tiger just wanted to speak to Carl about the issues that he's having with Kenya and this marriage that he's trying to do, the ceremony. So they're playing golf and he's expressing to Carl that, you know what, I'm having an issue with Kenya because I'm telling her I want to do this marriage. I want us to, have the ceremony. And she like shuts me down when I'm trying to explain to her why we should do it. And Carl's just like, you know what, I know her ins, I know her outs, and I know the type of person she is. But she should be a little bit more considerate. I will talk to her about the issue, and she's more focused on the family aspect being there, which you don't need. But I'll talk to her. So Carl's going to talk to Kenya. Maybe he could knock some sense into her because Tiger definitely can't. So the next couple I want to talk about is Kim, Dustin, and Vincent. So we see Kim and Dustin, they're waiting on Vincent. Dustin is getting the cornhole game. Kim, she's playing with the dog. She's planting flowers or roses, whatever she's planting. And she's just like, her and Vincent have gotten very distant lately. And she know the reason is because that she wants to bring somebody else into the relationship. Again, like, 2 is not enough? 2 husbands? They got something that just cannot be filled. So she's just telling her husband, like, hey, maybe you could talk to Vincent and explain to him how you felt when I first brought him into a relationship, or I first even introduced the idea to you. And he was like, you know what, I could, talk to him because he definitely don't want Vincent to break up their little romance that the two of them have together, because it took time for the two of them to grow and get to know each other, and now 2 of them ain't enough. So now she's messing up the dynamic of their relationship, basically. This whole dynamic that took years to build. So Vincent comes and she's planting her flowers. She says hi to him. She says, you know what, I'm gonna let y'all guys hang out. I'm gonna go start dinner. She goes to start dinner, and Vincent and Dustin are playing cornhole. I think that's what it's called, cornhole, or whatever. So they're playing a game, and Dustin says to him, you know what, we noticed that you're being a little bit distant. Are you still like interested in being in this dynamic? What is going on? And Vincent is just like, you know what, this is like very hard for me. Vincent, as the person coming into the relationship, he's like, hey, he was okay with being in the relationship because he was the new person in the relationship. But him having to have somebody else come in is very difficult, because he's like, he doesn't want to share her. And he's just like, you know what? I feel like she kind of wears herself thin by dividing herself out between the two of us. So, and Dustin just tries to explain to him, you know what? I understand how you feel. But when this first happened with me, you know what, me seeing the two of y'all together, I felt like I was on the outside looking in sometimes. I felt like, hey, I'm not invited to the party. Just the way the two of y'all would connect and act together made me feel insecure and made me feel different emotions. But I had to handle my emotions differently. And I had to basically adjust to, the new setting. So he's just trying to explain to him, like, it's not going to be the end of the world. Um, Regardless, it seems like she's going to do it because that's what she want to do. She's going to do what she want to do. And in these relationships, the women basically just do whatever it seemed like, and the men just allows it. Because even Vincent, he's not on board with it. And they're trying to convince him. And eventually, because in the next episode, we're going to see them basically Kim being out dating people and Vincent getting mad and walking away. But they need to be a little bit more stern. I feel like the men in these relationships, and I feel like these women pick these specific type of men who's just going to allow them to walk all over them. Now, in all cases, are they walking all over them? No, I do not believe that. But in these cases, it just seems like the men's feelings are pushed to the side, and just whatever they feel or however they whatever they think about it, they need to push it to the side and accept this as a reality. Like, you're gonna have to accept me wanting a second husband because that's what I want. And they love their partner so much they're willing to give that to them, which is ridiculous because Dustin talked about he having to learn to love himself. If you loved yourself and you're really, really deep down inside not happy with your wife having a second husband or a boyfriend, then you should love yourself enough to just leave. And they don't want to leave, but they don't want them to have a second husband or boyfriend either. I don't know. The husbands to me don't seem too ecstatic or too happy about it. And that's just my point of view. You let me know in the comments. So yeah, Dustin tries to convince Vincent that it's going to be okay. And it's something that you just need to adjust to. So the next couple I'm going to talk about is Shara, Patrick, and Noble. So I guess we're introduced to Shara and Patrick and Noble in this episode. And she's saying that she and Patrick have been married for 20 years. And after she ended up in a car accident, her and Patrick basically drifted away from each other. They wasn't communicating the way they used to, and they basically stopped having sex for over 10 years within their marriage.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
She said because of that, she and Patrick agreed that she could bring somebody else into the relationship because she did not want to leave Patrick.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Again, everybody having their cake and eating it too. I don't even know why they're getting married. All these people are getting married if they're just not satisfied. Shouldn't marriage be saved for somebody, two people who find the other half? I thought that's what marriage was, right? You find your other half, somebody to complete you, because you're half and your other half, and you feel fully completed. You should be satisfied mentally, physically, emotionally. That's what I think marriage should be. But not these couples. So she explained that they stopped having sex and she wanted to bring somebody else in the marriage. So she met Noble. Noble and Patrick got along fine. During the pandemic, they all was living together. Now, Patrick says, hey, he's fine with Shara having another husband or boyfriend. The only issue, because he's able to get his work done with no nagging and she's satisfied, she's happy, because clearly he's not satisfying her in that department for whatever reasons. But they decide they want to stay together. It could be financial reasons that they're staying together. Who knows? So Noble lived with them during the pandemic, but Noble was supposed to be living in the basement. And they had issues as far as Noble helping around the house and as far as Noble and Shara getting it on and Patrick finding them doing it. So Noble had to move out. So we see Shara and Noble, they go to have dinner or a lunch date, and he's explaining to her, hey, you know what? I feel like I'm ready to move back in. I want us to take things a little bit more serious. And Shara's like, well, this is not the kind of situation you said you wanted to be in. You said you wanted to be in a fling type of relationship, not nothing serious. Something with no strings, just a fling. That's what you said, right? And he was like, yeah, well, now I do. I'm thinking I'm ready. I want us to come together. We could help each other out financially, and I could be there as a support system for Shara. So she basically says she's going to think about it. And that's about all we saw for this episode. Now, my opinion on this show, because it's a lot to take in, and I did not do the first episode. I didn't do a review on the first episode because I'm trying to get it in my system. I decided to do a review on the second episode. These people are just not happy or satisfied with their partners anymore. They've been with their partners for years, and sometimes love dies out. The person that you once fell in love with is not that person anymore, and this is something that you don't want anymore. But because you have this emotional attachment to that person, you feel like you cannot let that emotional attachment go. So you decide to bring somebody else to fulfill the needs and the wants that that person is not giving to you, while you have that person there to keep you mentally and emotionally sustained. I think it's just very selfish of the women. Because they should be considerate about their husband's feelings, and they should put themselves in their husband's shoes and see if their husbands was willing to bring somebody else in the relationship, another female, how would they feel about it? Because before you do anything to somebody, you should always think, if this was to happen to me, how would I feel about it? And this is why I feel like the women are very selfish. And for them to not even be satisfied with the sacrifices that their first husbands or partners made for them, and to put their emotions and feelings aside just to make them happy, and in return them not being satisfied just to want more, like Shara and Kenya. Your husbands put their feelings and emotions and pride. Men are very prideful. Put their pride aside to allow you to have a second husband or boyfriend. And yet still, that wasn't enough. You need a third party in the relationship. You need another husband or boyfriend. And now you're jeopardizing the relationship that you have with the second husband or boyfriend. It's mind-boggling. I feel like somebody just needs to say enough is enough to these women. But if you like it, I love it. So that's about all we really saw on this episode, and that's about all I'm going to give on my take on this show. Please come back for more, because it's going to be more. So yeah, that's about it. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my videos and would like to be notified every time I upload a new video.